All right, hello and welcome. Today, we are going to tackle a really important piece of paperwork if you're a pet owner who loves to travel, the FAVN report form. Seriously, getting this document right is your golden ticket to a smooth journey. So let's break it all down.
So, you're planning an incredible trip, and of course, your furry sidekick is coming with you. It's super exciting, but to make sure everything goes off without a hitch, there's this one bureaucratic hurdle we have to clear perfectly.
And that hurdle is the FAVN report form. Now, this isn't just any old form. This is an official export document. What that really means is that every single detail has to be spot on. Accuracy here, it's completely non-negotiable.
So, let's kick things off with why this is such a big deal. A surprising number of these tests get delayed or even flat out rejected because of tiny, totally avoidable mistakes. You have to remember, import authorities are meticulous. They cross-reference this FAVN form with all your other travel papers, and even one little mismatch can bring your plans to a grinding halt.
So what are the most common tripwires? We're talking about things like getting a single digit wrong in a microchip number, putting down the wrong date for the serum draw, or having mismatched info on your pet's breed, sex, or age. Oh, and a huge one, using an old, outdated submission form. These are the simple slip-ups that cause the absolute biggest headaches.
Okay, so we know what can go wrong, but what about the solution? Well, it's all about getting the paperwork and the sample prepared correctly right from the get-go. That is the secret to just sailing right through this whole process. First things first, you have got to use the latest version of the form. No excuses. Just head over to the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab's Rabies Lab website, find that Submission Forms tab, and download the current one. Please don't use one you have saved on your computer from a previous trip.
Okay, next up, the sample itself. You're going to need to submit between 1 and 2 milliliters of serum. And it has to be in a very specific container, either a 3 or a 5 milliliter test tube. You gotta be precise here.
Now let's talk about labeling that tube. It sounds so basic, I know, but it is so important. The label has to be easy to read, it has to have your pet's microchip number and name, and it's got to be stuck on there securely. And this counts even if you are only sending one single sample in the whole box.
And I really want to pause on this for a second because it is that important. The lab is crystal clear. They've said it themselves. Unlabeled tubes are canceled, and there are no exceptions, no do-overs. It's such a simple step that you absolutely positively cannot afford to skip.
All right, your form is filled out perfectly, your sample is labeled just right, so what's next? The next phase is packing everything up correctly so it gets there safe and sound.
The whole process is pretty straightforward. First, you'll wrap the tube in a paper towel. Then, pop that into its own plastic bag and seal it up. Place that inside a small cardboard box with some padding, like bubble wrap. Toss in 1 frozen gel pack to keep things cool. And finally, and this is a key detail, put your form and payment into a separate plastic bag inside that box.
So what happens if you're sending in samples for more than one pet? The rule is actually really simple. The samples get treated individually, but the paperwork all gets grouped together. So each tube gets wrapped and bagged all by itself, while all your forms and payments go together into one single plastic bag.
You've done all the hard prep work. Your package is ready to go. Now it's time for the final stage, getting it shipped out and then keeping an eye on it until you know it's arrived safely.
And here's a fantastic pro tip for you. The Kansas State Lab, the KSVDL, they actually offer a discounted UPS shipping rate to send your package to them. It's a great way to save a few bucks, but you're going to need one little thing to get that discount.
And that one little thing is a Rabies client account number. Just think of it like your unique ID with the lab. You literally can't create that discounted shipping label on their website without it.
So how do you get one? Easy. If you're already a client, you can probably find it on an old invoice, or you can just give the lab a quick call. If you're new, just hop on the Rabies Lab website, fill out the online client registration form, and they'll shoot you an email with your new account number. Simple as that.
So once your package is in the mail, you're obviously going to want to track it. You've got 2 great ways to do this. There's the KSVDL mobile app, which gives you push notifications, or you can use their website's status portal just by plugging in your pet's microchip number. Let's talk a little more about that app. It's free, and honestly, it's designed just to give you peace of mind. It will send you a little alert the second your sample arrives safely at the lab, and then it'll ping you again when the results are all finished. No more nervously refreshing a web page over and over. Okay, we have definitely covered a lot of ground. But if you take away just one single thing from all this, let it be this. Every bit of effort you put into being accurate up front is a direct investment in preventing stressful, expensive delays later on. So here it is, your final checklist for success. 1. Use the current form.
2. Double-check and then triple-check every single number. 3. Label that tube like your trip depends on it, because, well, it kind of does. 4. Pack everything correctly. 5. Use a lab shipping portal to save a little cash. And 6. Track its progress so you can relax.
You know, following these steps really takes the stress out of the whole process. It frees you up to focus on the really fun part. So with all your paperwork handled perfectly, the only question left is, what's the very first adventure you and your best friend are going to have together?